Yeah, sorry for the cutout. It's just the internet connectivity issue. Now we are back and the problem has been resolved. So we start with the in the activity. We are here in the activity section. We can so we are here in the activity section. Let's move to yeah. Now we are now
Just give us a second. We are checking up to which content we have already streamed. Yeah, okay. So the view part was done, and now we're gonna move to the next thing that we were doing, and we already did that, but the connectivity was lost.
So now let's move to the presenter implementation section. And as we have already told that the presenter is the middleman between the login basically view and the model. So to act as a middleman, it needs two object to get interact with the view section and the view section and the model section. To interact with these two sections, we just have to create the two objects, or you can say that in layman language, the two paths which lead us to the model section as well as the interactor section. So let's start with we are first creating the login view object, and it's login view equals to login view, and for the interaction section, login interactor is login interactor.
Okay, now we have to create a constructor for login view, right? So we are creating a constructor for login view, yes. And we are passing the login view from the constructor. And we have to create this object, right? So we will do that in constructor itself. Login interactor is equal to new login interactor IMPL. So now this connection works because login interactor IMPL implements login interactor. You can see over it over here. It implements login interactor. So we can create object of login interactor from login interactor IMPL. That's fine. Okay. The second thing we have to do is we have to create object of login presenter in activity also.
Like we told you that the view is interact with the presenter and the presenter interacts with the model. To keep this working, we have to create a presenter object so that the presenter can be so that the presenter so that we can interact with the presenter through the activity section. To interact, we have to create a view. We can specify the private login presenter mlogin presenter. We have just declared the object over here, and we are initializing this object. It's mlogin presenter equals to new login presenter IMPL. We have already specified the how you can achieve the IMPL object,
and you can see that it's demanding a view in its constructor. So as our activity is implementing login view, so we can directly pass this in that.
Yes.
Yeah,
We are passing this because in login presenter IMPL constructor we have a one parameter called the login view, and in login activity we just pass this because login activity is login activity is referring to the login view. So login presenter. Now in the show progress, we have done this code when the internet connectivity get lost. So it's in show progress, basically pb load progress bar dot set visibility view dot visible. We just visible this progress bar. In the hide progress bar, we just pb load set visibility view dot gone. And let's
In
see,
set username
in
error,
set username error, we'll just display a toast over here.
no, we will set error to the user field. So we will say ed username dot set error.
ed username dot set error.
Yeah, what we can do is we can pass the error from from the interactor, or we can define it over here.
And
Actually, we have to do that like that way.
in username or password error, we just specify the error by the hard coded terms. We have to specify it in activity section. For in show alert section, we'll demonstrate how we can pass the error over the interaction section, over the interactor section to the view section. So in this case, we are just displaying error in the activity section only. So it's set error. So we can set the error like username
Blank.
empty.
Yeah, and same is the case with username password field. So we will say ed password and password empty. Okay, and then we have navigate to main method, in which we have to navigate to main activity over here. So we will just create an intent, start activity, new intent. We will pass our class login activity dot this and comma main activity dot class, and that's it. So we are navigating to our main activity from here, and in the show alert method we will show a toast and we will pass message over here. So our activity is pretty much done. We have done everything over here and we don't have to think about it otherwise. The thing that is remaining is setting an on click listener on button done, right? So button done dot set on click listener, new on click listener, and what we have login presenter over here, and we have a method in login presenter to pass username and password, right? Validate credentials. So we will do that over here. I'm login presenter dot validate credentials, get text dot to string dot frame, and password field for the same, get text dot to string dot frame. Okay, that's it. So this is what we're gonna do in this on click listener, right? And we're gonna pass this to the login presenter. Now if we see login presenter, our validate method is called, so it's black in color, but our on destroy method hasn't been called yet, right? So we're gonna implement it over here, on destroy method of activity, and we're gonna say I'm login presenter dot on destroy. What we're gonna do in this method, we will do it later, but see, it's black again, right? So we have used these two methods and the presenter is pretty much done, activity is pretty much done. View, no, we haven't called any method yet, so these all are gray, right? And here it is, login presenter IMPL and Interactor IMPL. So what we will do first is we will get the username and password from login activity in this method, and we will say Interactor to login with those parameters, right? So I'll reject to you.
Basically the validate credential method is just validate the credentials. Basically it passes the username and password to the interactor. In interactor section we will display the whole logic on the basis of which the username and password get validated. So in just the validate credential method we just have to forward these two username and password to the interactor section. To achieve this we have a object that the mlogin interactor, this mlogin interactor dot login method. It's in login method we require the two fields,
Three parameters actually.
username, password and the
listener
object. So login, we are just passing the username comma password comma this.
Okay, so this presenter class is implementing the login interactor on finished listener. That's why we can pass this over here.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can check that in login method the parameters are these username, password and the listener. And for the listener case we are just passing this because the login presenter IMPL is implementing the on login finished listener. So it's pretty much I think clear now, and we can let's come to the on destroy section.
Okay, so if we do nothing with our activity, we are passing something, we are passing the view, we are passing the context, right? So from login activity we are passing the context, and if we don't destroy that, it's gonna blow up on our face, right? This will be a memory leak. So in on destroy method, first we gonna check if the login view is null or not. If it's not null, mlogin view .nn, that's the shortcut to do things pretty fast, and enter. So if mlogin view is not equal to null, then we gonna say that destroy the mlogin view, and we gonna do that by referring it to the null, right? And we destroyed the login view. Okay, on username error, what we gonna do is we again gonna say if mlogin view is not equal to null, so we will just copy that and we're gonna pass it over here. We will delete that. On username error, if we are showing progress bar, first we will delete that. We will hide that. Okay, so first we will hide the progress bar, mlogin view dot hide progress bar, right? And the second thing, mlogin view dot set username error, right? So this is pretty much done. We are saying hide the progress bar if there is an error, and set the username error, right? And for the password field we do the same. So we just gonna copy that, and we just gonna change set password error. For the success method, and on success we wanna go to the main activity, so we will say mlogin view dot navigate to main, right? And in on failure method we will again dismiss the progress bar, mlogin view progress, and we will show the alert view over here with the passed message. Okay, so you can see everything is done over here, and we don't have to do rather than one thing. We have to do one thing. We have to show progress bar when we are clicking the button, right? So we will again check if mlogin view is not equal to null, show the progress bar, show the progress bar, and then tell the login interactor to login, right? So this is pretty much done, and you can see in presenter where it is, login presenter, here it is. These two methods are these are already black, and in login view all the methods are black, right? So login view is done, login presenter is done, and now off to login interactor. So this method is already here, and this method has been called from login presenter IMPL, right?
Validate from the validate credentials of the login presenter IMPL, the validate credential, just forwarding these two parameters to the login interactor section, so that the main logic performed in the login interactor section, these two parameters get validated over there. Now let's move to the verification section, where these two parameters get verified and returns the success or the error depending upon their input. So let's come to the interactor implementation.
Okay, so first thing we are getting is username, so we're gonna check it if it's empty or not. So we're gonna say if text utils dot,
if text utils,
if you are using a username dot length is greater than 0, that it's fine, but we will recommend you to use text utils dot is empty to check if a field is empty or not, right? If it is empty, we're gonna set username error, right?
Yeah.
Listener dot
on
username error, right? Okay, then we have second condition, else if the password is empty, then we're gonna say listener dot on password error. Again we're gonna check else if. For now we're gonna give something static value to username and password, and we're gonna match our credentials to that, right? So if username dot equals and we're gonna pass admin small a, yeah, and condition over here, password dot equals one, two, three, four, five. Then we're gonna use that. If this condition satisfied, we're gonna say this login is success, right? So we're gonna say listener dot on success. And in the if nothing of these satisfied the condition, we're gonna say listener dot on failure. Means our username and password do not match. Invalid credentials, we can say that. Okay, so if I go back to login interactor, you can see everything is black now, right? So what do you think? It will work now? Everything is done, pretty much done.
Yeah, everything is pretty much done. Now we can move to the activity section to get it to get it the live example, so that user can understand which process where, so that the other fellow persons knows that how it is working.
Okay, so
Let's
off to login activity, right? So in login activity, we have screen, we fill in our username, password, and then we click button done, right? So the presenter gonna say validate credentials. We gonna say presenter go and validate credentials for me. I'm passing username and password that user field.
Presenter just carries these two fields, the input fields, to the presenter just carries these two input fields from activity to the presenter, and then you can move to the presenter section.
Okay, so here validate credentials have username and password that we passed from activity.
that the username and password are carried by the presenter section to presenter object over here. Now in on-validate credential methods, we have these two. We have the input parameters which are entered by the user, the username and the password. Now we can perform the further steps.
So first we're gonna say login view, show the progress bar.
Show the progress,
right?
By the show progress bar, the login activity show progress method will be called. It is called by because in the login presenter IMPL we are using the mlogin view object, because this view object is of activity section, so it will call the activity show progress method.
Okay, so off to the show progress method, and we are showing our PB load progress bar over here, right? Okay, so from now here, login interactor to login, we're gonna go to this method, right? And first we're gonna check if the username is empty. If it is, it's gonna say listener.on username error. And we have implemented on login finish listener in login presenter IMPL. So on username error, we have this method over here.
Initially we checked the login view is not, if the login view is not equals to null, then we can perform the further step. If it's null, then there is no point to perform, there is no point to display the progress bar or hide the progress bar or set the error.
Yeah, so we hide the progress bar first, and then we set the username error. And in mlogin view set error, we are using set username error. We are just setting the error that username is empty. Right? Okay, now to the second step, we have else if condition. We are checking if the password is blank, and again we have listener.on password error, which goes to this block over here. It said login view to set password error, and in password error we have password empty error, right? To the third block, we have something as we are comparing username to admin and password to 12345. If it's correct, it's gonna call listener.onSuccess, which is on success method over here. It will say navigate to main, and in login activity we are just calling an intent to go to main activity, right? Yeah. And for the last method, if these three aren't met, if
the conditions aren't satisfied within these three methods, then the else part will be called, and in else part we are calling the method on failure. And the on failure methods, it's just showing the alert method, which is in the activity section mlogin view dot show alert, and passing the message over there. And for example, can you move to Interactor IMPL? For example, you can basically in this section, for example, you can call a server call for your login section. Like if you're an Android developer, you already know how to do the server calls, and from the server you will getting an error, like you are getting the invalid credentials, invalid username, invalid password. Then in that case, we are just using the static fields. We are not doing the server calls to not get to increase the complexity. We are just matching in the static fields. And for example, you in the server call, you are getting the invalidated credentials error. So you can call the listener.onFailure, the message which you getting from the server, you can pass it over here. We are passing it just the static message to decrease the complexity. And for example, if you call the listener on failure message, and in on failure we are passing a string message. We are passing a string message in the login presenter IMPL. You will get the string message over here, and again we are checking that if the login view is null or not. First we do that the hide the progress bar. There is no point to display progress bar now, and we can set the show alert method. And in show alert, it's also a string parameter which is passing, and show alert parameter is showing over in the login activity. In login activity, show alert will get the message over the interactor. Like I told you that we pass the message from the interactor to presenter, like the interactor, this on failure interactor to presenter, and the presenter to activity. Now the toast will display the invalidate credentials. I think it's pretty much clear now.
Yeah, we have this on destroy method. When the activity will be destroyed, login presenter on destroy method will be called, and on destroy method will just pretty much null the login view that we are passing, so that we don't have any memory leaks in our app, right? It's to optimize that. So we're gonna run this example now on emulator. If you have any question regarding this example, you can just ask that. Okay, 1 second. We have to check.
We have to change the launcher activity over there.
Yeah. So we're gonna copy this, cut that, and we're gonna paste that over here. And we have the main activity, and we will say over here main activity. Okay, so MVP is successful. If everything goes right, we're gonna see this, right? We hope that this gonna work, and we are pretty much confident with that. And so off to run. If you have any question, this is the right time to ask. You can ask your questions if you have any. Okay, so the example is on the emulator, and we gonna just press the done button without entering anything, right? So we just say done, and we have the username empty error, right? Okay, so Rajat, to you.
So I'm just entering the username. It's called the Rajat.
Okay, so we know that we are checking if it's admin or not.
Admin or not.
We are right.
So it will give the.
Wait a second. I think you shouldn't be seeing the emulator right now. Let me do the settings for that. Okay, so I think this is visible now. Yes, so we will just delete it once again. And I'll just click done, and you can see username empty error, right? Okay, fine. So Rajat, write in your name.
Yeah. I'm just entering in the username field my name, RAJT.
Rajat. Okay. So if we'll just press done once again,
it will display the password empty error. Because we haven't entered any password yet. Like in the password section, I'm just entering the 1, 2, and 3.
Right. now we have to write admin and 12345, but instead we have just wrote project and 123. So let's see what happened. We click done, and yeah, boom, invalid credentials.
Invalidate credential because our condition doesn't get satisfied, earlier three condition doesn't get satisfied, and it will display the, it will goes to the else part and it will be display the invalidate credentials in toast.
Okay, so now we will fill
as you can see that we have specified the invalidate credential method, invalidate credential message in the interactor section, and it's getting displayed in the activity section. I have already cleared that the how the interactor message is passed to the presenter, and the presenter passed this message to the activity section, which is displayed. Kshitij, can you click once again?
okay, yeah, just give me a second. Okay,
Yeah,
done.
it's displayed
So it's saying invalid credentials. One thing I want to mention here is that you can see we haven't done anything out here. Like if we have to show progress bar, we are getting that command from presenter, as the presenter is the mediator between interactor and login activity. So every command we have to work with is from login presenter IMPL, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we will fill the right details.
Now I'm entering the correct details, and the correct details is admin.
A is in caps, so A is small.
DMIN admin,
And the password is
the
12345.
12345.
Okay, so now we should be redirected to main activity, right? And we click done, and
Yeah,
yeah,
you can get the method, you can get the message that the MVP successful.
so pretty much done now. Everything is clear, I think.
Now I think you guys have a question that we specified these two methods, the progress bar, show progress bar, and the hide progress bar, but the progress bar haven't been displayed yet, because if you do a server call, it will the network library will take some time to get back the results. In that cases, we will display the progress bar like we are doing it in a static context, or a static static parameters. So it's working pretty much fast, so that the progress bar doesn't get displayed.
Okay, we can do one thing. We can put that in handler.
Yeah,
right?
we can do that we can put that in handler, so that you can get a clear picture how the progress bar is working.
Okay, so listener.onSuccess success method is the method that hides the progress bar and tells us that we have to navigate to main activity. So we will create a new handler over here. We will say new handler. H will be capital. Yeah, import that.
Yeah.
Right, new run, and you can first date dot post delayed, which will take runnable and seconds. So we will pass 3000 milliseconds. That will be 3 seconds, and we will create a new runnable over here. New runnable, yeah, and comma.
Just a comma.
Okay, and from this method we will call listener.onSuccess, and it's saying it's called from the inner class, so we have to make this final. Right. Okay, so the error is gone, and we just run that once again on our emulator. Okay, Rajat.
Now I'm entering the credentials again.
A will be
small.
1 second, if that's visible. I don't think so. 1 second.
Yeah,
Okay, so we have admin over here
admin over here, and we are just entering the password 1 2 3 4 5.
okay,
By entering the password, the credential got validated.
and you will see
You will
we
see
have a
the
progress bar.
It will display till 3 seconds, and now the MVP successful method we will get the in the main activity section. And if you get back to the activity section, it will hide the progress bar and calling the main activity section. I think we have demonstrated the MVP structure in a good way so that you can understand all the concepts. If you have any query regarding this, you can just
Ask.
write in the comment. We will answer the queries right now.
Yeah, we have around 5 minutes of time right now, so you can ask any query if you have related to MVP, and we will try to answer that.
If you have any further suggestions over this video, you can post it in the comment section, not queries.
Yes, this is our first time that we are on live,
Yeah,
and
we are demonstrating
yeah,
something,
we do.
so we may have some missed something. So if you suggest us the points, we can improve it in the next video, and you'll get a better platform to learn new things.
Yes, Shubhankar. So what you have to do is in else if condition, right? So what will you do instead of else if condition? Let's change this. Let's refactor this code. So I'll delete this, and I'll say else. Okay. So now what I will do is I will have my network call from here, right? Just write anything you wanna do. Anything you want to.
Like I have to validate credentials over here. So for example, in my API, in my URL, I have to pass these two parameters, and on the backend guy will check that these two parameters will exist in the database or not. For example, I have a URL, or I have a method that post to server.
Post to server, right?
Post to server. I have just two methods. I have just two parameters: username and password.
Username and password.
Password.
Right. Okay. And
Can you create a post to server method?
yeah, that's here, and you can semicolon.
Yeah. Just in post to server methods,
We will have call to any any networking library you use. We use retrofit, and we're gonna soon create a video for that too.
For example, you are in a post to server section, and you post a request to server, and server will return the response. If the response is success, because if your server will return the result in the two forms, whether it's a success or whether it's a error. So for example, we are taking first case, if it's success.
Okay, so in retrofit we have two methods that we have result in. One is on success and second is on error, something like that.
Error. Yeah. We are just demonstrating it in a local way. So we are not accessing any methods of retrofit.
And in the same way, if error. Okay, so if the result is success, we will call listener.onSuccess from here.
In this case, you can pass the listener over here.
Also.
Listener, and you will get the access of the listener over here. Yeah. If it is success, then we can call the listener dot on success, and
if it's failure,
error, listener dot show alert. Oh, sorry, failure.
on failure.
On failure method.
And
In failure
we will
method,
pass the message that we get from server.
the server guy will definitely give you a result that these credentials are not exist in your database, invalidate credential, email and password doesn't match, the password doesn't, the user account doesn't exist. So these kinds of method you are getting in return from the server. So basically, definitely it's a string type, or you can typecast it to the string, and you can pass that the error message over here. Like for example, you are getting the message in this account doesn't exist. This account doesn't exist. For now, if you will get the success, then you will get the success. On the on success, you will get you will move to the you will move to this method, and you will hide the progress and navigate it to the main activity or the other things which you want to do on the success method. And if the server guy will return that this account doesn't exist, or you can say that it will return an error, in that case you can call the listener.onFailure method. In the onFailure method, you will hide the progress initially, and you'll call the show alert message, and the message which the server guy is passing to you can display that message in the toast, and you are passing this message to here, show alert, and the show alert will display a toast and by this message only.
Okay, so we're gonna just undo the changes we have done.
Yeah.
Windows E. I think Shubhankar, this
will clear
your query, yeah, right? Okay, so Shubhankar is asking, I understand, thanks a lot. So when you guys start to implement MVVM with RX Java, I think MVVM is better for unit testing. What do you think? Okay, so we are also learner like you, right? I have posted a list on LinkedIn, which I will link in this video when this will be live. Section. Right, so we are also learning, and we are down the road, down the road to learn those topics as well. And as soon as we learn the other things, we will implement that, and we will teach you on online.
Definitely, when we will get the better hands on the RX Java and the MVVM, definitely we will provide you a tutorial, and you don't have to wait much for that. We are working on the list, and it's just the next we are learning, and definitely we will provide you the further videos regarding your points, and after any other topics also. Okay. And we are just posting the tutorial list. We are just we are following, so we are just posted in the description section. You will get it over from there,
and I'm posting it right now in the comment section also.
You can chat section. You can check this the LinkedIn link, so you can have the.
I think it's not letting me post that. Okay, so I'll have that URL in description, and you can check that. You can follow us on LinkedIn as well to get our latest update.
We will just post our profile links in the description section also.
Okay, any other question?
Shubhankar, any other question?
Well, RX Java is something we also want to use, right? It's like on boom these days. RX is, we can say that RX is asynchronous tasks on steroids, right? So we will use that, we will get to that point, but as we are learning down the road, we will also tell you all about that. Any other question? We have 3 minutes left.
Yeah, do mention your reviews.
Yeah, Shubhankar, could you just mention your reviews about this Hangout, this live session? Okay, so you can see the post by me in which I have written all the topics that we're gonna cover in future. If you can watch that, if you can see that. Shubhankar, could you just, verify if you can see the list? $200 is the limit. Okay, so we gonna say goodbye now. I think they haven't got the link yet. Okay, don't worry, we will post that in comment section, description section, right? So that's it for now, guys. Bye bye, take care. And if you do have any suggestion, please comment down.
And if you have any suggestion, any queries,
Yeah,
if you want to learn
If
any
you want-
new technologies, then please let us know. We'll work on that and provide you a good tutorial over that.
Yeah.
So,
So
thanks,
bye bye.
and bye-bye
It's bye from Kshitij and bye from Rajat.
Yeah. Enjoy the day, enjoy the weekend.